Alrighty guys, if you don't know who I am, my name is Shook. I make NBA DFS content. All these videos that get posted to Reddit. As always, you can ask me questions leading up to lock about the slate. I make updates with all the news that comes out throughout the day. Pretty much anything you need, I'll have that link down below. And if you ever need to get a hold of me, I'll have my X link down below as well. Getting a video early for you guys because I'm just so tilted. Just look at what happened today. I predicted that Zach Collins was going to start. You can see I took his over PR at 12.5. It closed at like 17.5. I took his alt, played lottos on like his alt, as you can see here. I played him in both my DFS lineups, and I still like cash tonight. My lineup is just nuking. So I'll let you guys know how it ends in tomorrow's video. But I just need to get this video out, and I need to go to bed because I am just unbelievably pissed off from what transpired. All those props dead. We'll see if my DFS lineups can survive a min cash. It's just never a great feeling. So just so dumb. I don't. You guys know I don't tilt anymore, but I am just I just absolutely through the roof today. So if you're looking for more in-depth content where I post sportsbook plays, anything you need, I'll have my Discord link down below. But yeah, this just whatever. All right, let's get into the slate. Jamal Murray questionable. Aaron Gordon probable. I think there's a good amount to like here regardless if Jamal Murray plays or not. So Jokic, he's the best spin up on the board. I'll probably be playing him in my DFS lineup tomorrow. Him, Luka look phenomenal. Great spot here going up against Washington. Just Washington, they're going to be without Brogdon. So like, can they keep this game competitive? That's the only worry here. Jamal Murray, if he plays, 7.8K, good price point there. Going to play big minutes, phenomenal spot. I really like him. I think MPJ, Aaron Gordon are both in play. I prefer Aaron Gordon at the price point of 5.8K. Good rebounder. Does have a double-double upside sometimes. Going to play big minutes, even though he just came back from injury. I think he's good. MPJ more priced right, but still fine. And I don't love the value here. Now, if we get like Jamal out, yeah, fire up Jokic. He would look incredible. MPJ would get a bump. He would look good. Aaron Gordon, I would really like at 5.8K. Russell Westbrook would look phenomenal. Christian Braun gets a bump. And even like Julian Strother would be playable for value at 3.1K. There would just be a lot to like here with Russell Westbrook. I'd actually really like Strother, especially if he's low owned in GPPs tomorrow, if Jamal Murray's out. And yeah, of course, love Westbrook, love all the main guys. Moving on to Washington, they're going to be without Brogdon, Kuzma, Sadiq Bey, Corey Kispert, Keyshawn George. So starting lineup here should be Jordan Poole, Sar, Koulibaly, Carrington, and Marvin Bagley, I believe they went with. I believe that's Marvin Bagley started at the 5. Was it the 4 or the 5? Let me just make sure. It was the 4. They started Sar at the 5. So I'll just expect Cooley to move into the starting lineup for Malcolm Brogdon here. So yeah, good spot here going up against Denver. If they can keep this game competitive, I think there's a good amount to like here too, especially with no Brogdon. It's like Jordan Poole with the team to himself. I really like it 6.9K. So it's going to be, can they keep this game competitive? Sar at the 5. His rates at the 5 are a lot better at the 4. Good matchup for him. I think he's a decent point per dollar play at 5.6. Jonas coming off the bench. They could start Jonas instead of starting like a Bub and just play Poole at the point. Could happen, but if he comes off the bench, you can't go there. I like Koulibaly at 5.2K. I think Bub's a great value. Marvin Bagley, if he starts again, I really like for value, although I do want to say they weren't playing him a ton of minutes until the blowout. So that's one thing I would keep an eye on. Like, if he's giga chalk tomorrow, I think you can fade, just because they weren't going to play him a ton of minutes, and then he got that garbage time. And then, yeah, with no Brogdon, you're probably going to see, like, some Butler, Champagny. I think they're both good values. Like, this game, really, really good. Ton to like in this game. Moving on to OKC. Good spot here going up against the Pelicans. I think SJ is a good spin up. I do give the edge to like Luka and Jokic, but he would be up there as with those guys, right? Jada at 8.9, I think it's fine. Hartenstein, he should be able to feast on Missy here. I think in a competitive game, he should play mid-30s minutes. Has dealt with foul trouble issues. Scoring a little bit concerning, but great rebounder. Still a decent point per dollar play. And then they started Joe last game. Whoever starts between like Casey Wallace, Isaiah Joe would be a playable value. And then whoever comes off the bench would be a playable value as well. It doesn't really matter who starts, who comes off the bench. They're going to play relatively similar minutes. I think both are solid values. Moving on to the Pelicans, they are fully healthy here. Herb Jones started. Trey Murphy back to the bench, so I have a tough time getting to Trey at 6.4K with everyone healthy. Herb is fine at 5.1, but with everyone healthy, this game definitely an outlier. They didn't need him out there for defense as well, but price point's definitely right. Not loving much. I think Brendan Ingram would probably be my favorite play at 8.3K, but with everyone healthy, This is the first time we're seeing them basically fully healthy, so it's a tough team to gauge. I would say Ingram probably my favorite, but no priorities there. Let's move on to Dallas. So I like Luka. I think he's up there. Jokic, Luka, my two favorite spin ups on the board. I think the Kyrie price point does seem a tad bit too cheap as well. So, of course, like Kyrie, like Luka, Peter Washington's more priced right. Lively, Gafford, they should kind of split the center minutes with Lively playing a little bit more. I think he's a good low-owned contrarian center play in the slate that no one's going to play. Klay Thompson, if you want to deal with it, he's so cheap now, but normally should play around 30 minutes if the game doesn't blow out. If you want to deal with it, it's fine. Ceiling there, floor low, playable. Let's move on to Toronto. Jakob questionable. Kelly Olynyk upgraded to questionable. I still love Scotty Barnes. I'm going to sound like a broken record here. Until he's like 10K, I'm still going to really like Scotty Barnes. Just doing everything, playing point for this team. Fine spot going up against Dallas. Yeah, I'm just going to continue to like him. I think RJ Barrett's a solid point per dollar play as well. If we get Jakob out, they started Bruno Fernando last game. Believe he got two quick ones and then played back, got benched. But he'd be another intriguing bounce back candidate. And then Mogbo got the backup five. I think both bigs are decent point per dollar values. And then Chris Boucher didn't really get a minutes bump, which is what I predicted because they just hate Boucher, but he's fine. And then if we get like Pirtle in, I'm off the bigs. If we get like Olynyk in and he's not on some type of limit, then which I would suspect him to in his first game back. But if randomly he's not on a minutes limit, he would look fantastic. But I would suspect he is. Not going to play Grady Dick, Ochai Agbaji. Moving on to Detroit, I don't like anything here. I think Ivy's priced right. Tobias Harris is priced right. Jalen Duren, I don't know what's going on with him this year. I really don't. Just they're going with a hot hand between Jaden Ivey and Malik Beasley. Malik Beasley's still priced up. I don't like them. I'm not going to play Tim Hardaway Jr. I think it's mainly just Cade is a good contrarian spin up, and that's it for Detroit. Let's move on to the next. All depends on Brunson. If Brunson is out, both guards and Miles McBride campaign would look phenomenal. I would absolutely love both of them. Then I'd love these secondary. Cat would look phenomenal. Hart would look great. OG would look great. All these Knicks would look fantastic if Brunson's out. If Brunson's in, I still really like Cat. This is a spot where he should be able to abuse. So I'm very, very high on Karl-Anthony Towns tomorrow. I think Brunson's fine, although I do prefer Karl-Anthony Towns. And then keep an eye on campaign news. He is questionable. If he's out, it bumped Miles McBride. He'd be a fair value. And then, yeah, Brunson's in. I still like the price points here on, like, McHale and Josh Hart and OG. Moving on to Memphis, another team I'm just not high on. Marcus Smart's questionable. Jock got ejected, so you saw more run for, like, Smart. The bench guys, I'm just not high on much here. I think the price point of Bane's a little bit intriguing at 6.6K. It does seem a tad bit too cheap. Always interested in Ja. Just should play around 30 minutes. Price point's fine. Just not loving much though here. I think we can just cruise right along. If you want to play like Jalen Wells, I think it's okay. Brandon Clark, but they're not going to play big minutes, right? All right, Boston on the front end of a back-to-back tonight. So I would suspect Kristaps Porzingis is going to be playing. And then I would suspect Al Horford is going to be out for tomorrow. I believe he's playing today. So Al Horford should be out. Porzingis should be playing is my guess. So, yeah, I mean, Porzingis is too cheap. Off his minutes restriction, he looks good. Drew Holiday, 5K. I played him tonight in both my lineups. I think he's another really solid value. And, yeah, it's a good spot. What are we doing with the Tatum price point at 9.9K? I really like Tatum tomorrow at that price point. I think Brown's fine. We also could see, like, one of Tatum-Brown rest. It is a back-to-back here, so, like, keep an eye on that. If one of them rests, then, play the other. Then Pritchard would be a thing. It's at Sam Hauser, although Hauser priced right for sure. But yeah, I suspect Horford should be sitting tomorrow. I suspect we'll have Porzingis back. But yeah, Tatum looks great. I don't know what that price point is. And then Drew Holiday would be my second favorite play there. Moving on to Phoenix, Kevin Durant and Nurkic going to remain out. So she'll get Royce O'Neal and Plumlee in the starting lineup. I really like Plumlee for value. Great rebounding spot going up against Miami here. This is a spot where you could see Oso play a bit more, but assuming Plumlee starts, I think he's a really good value. And then Oso, I think, is decent value as well. She'll play around 20 minutes. I also really like Royce O'Neal at 5.4K. I still think it's a reasonable price point. He's a guy that really produces when he's put in these spots. One of these main guys are injured. So, like Royce, like Plumlee, like the bigs, Grayson's priced right. Tyus Jones is fine. Tough spot here for like the main guys, but Booker gets the biggest bump. Moving on to Miami, Butler is probable. Not a fan of too much here. I think it's like, I like Duncan in GPPs just because the range of outcomes are so up and down. He has a massive ceiling. like if you want to play like Bam, Pero, Butler, I think they all look similar to me. Terry Rozier should play low to mid 20s minutes off the bench. I think he's a good contrarian value as well. So sorry for the quick video, guys. I'm just so tilted, but that's going to be it. I will talk to y'all tomorrow.